Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of Covenant, Breaker of Seven Seals. Okay, brothers and sisters, I want to have, a few things I want to talk about. You know, the angel, well, first of all, these people here, that statement, that's the Quran talking. What they said is perfect, right? Beyond question. Yet it's obvious they do that. We can prove it. I'll prove it again. Easy. They believe in part of the book and disbelieve the other. They preach part of the book and disbelieve the other. So it's clear who they are. So, is God a liar? All of a sudden the Quran is wrong. So we're going. You're the judge. You're the judge. Check my sound here, brothers and sisters. Come. We have many enemies, hidden enemies, open enemies. All kinds of enemies. In fact, scriptures tell us that the whole world is our enemy. Just prove it time and time again, you see. Right? Look at it closely. Why is that? Why is that? But these people, like I just mentioned, so they openly do it. So they might not consider themselves traitors, but I mean, they read this verse and they don't read the next verse that contradicts everything they're saying. The verse that they don't like, that's the one they jump over. It contradicts everything they're saying. We're going to show a few of them today. What you do with traitors. Traitors get the worst punishment. They get worse punishment than the cowards. Cowards punish. Humiliation maybe just sometimes. Right? They can be shot, but traitors, woo. Everybody hates traitors. Hypocrites are traitors. Traitors come in all kinds of shapes and forms, but everybody hates them. You know, even when you betray your country, say when somebody comes to America, they betray their country. Well, they like the fact they betray their country, but America don't trust them either, because they say if you betray your own country. That's the same thing with children. Children that disrespect their parents are traitors. That's why the scriptures prescribe death for disobedient children. Wow, that's hard. That's what it says. Death. Because if they can't obey their parents who gave them life, they're never going to obey God. They don't even meant anything. That's the whole case against the devils. Remember, they are children. We gave birth to them. And they turned on us. And the penalty is death. That also speaks to that too. These rebellious children, rebellious children, right? Disobedient children. Well, disobedient children is one thing. See, that's a little different. It's bad, right? See, because if you're a fool and you got a child and he's not going to listen to you, well, that's like the Quran says, they say we don't believe in this. We believe in our father. Say, if I was ignorant, you don't expect me to believe in some stuff. Because like I said, what our fathers believed in, they believed what they was told. It was wrong. So we're not expected to be punished because we say don't believe in that. No, that's not the Quran. Don't teach that. No rebellious children, because you can disagree and be respectful. Your dad, okay, mom, okay, I love you, I respect you, but let's talk about this. That don't seem right. You see what I'm saying? That's different thing, right? And I give an analogy, because I have a personal interest in this. We're in an ocean of shit here, a lake of shit. We grew up in it. So all of us that care anything about children, we hold them up above the lake of shit. We're trying to hold them up above it. So I had to swim, smell, taste the shit. Because we in it. We're trying to lift them up above it. See? And then we get them to shore. Someone shore, they turn around and say, you full of shit. See? That's my experience. And most lives have the same experience. A lot of it comes from, because I know when I was growing up, children didn't act like that. I would never grow up. Didn't act like that. That crap didn't come along until late 60s and 70s, late 60s, with that Bill Cosby shit. That clown should rot in hell 3 times. Because you already had children knew more than their parents. Talk back to their parents, knew more than all that kind of stuff. And now you see it all over the place. He promoted that. See, that's why them demons are so destructive. You didn't see anything like that before that. That Cosby stuff then went off to what? Good times, it just went off all over the place. And all of a sudden the children cursing back at their parents, calling their parents names, and they know more than their parents and everything else. So they got the shit from the Cosby Show. When I was growing up, kids respect their parents. They might agree with them, they respected them. I didn't know anybody that didn't. After that, man, it was just, children rewarded right now for it, dude. They can do anything they want to. In fact, all this transgender stuff, they can go out and say, hey, man, I feel like I want to be a girl, right? And then they don't have to tell their parents. The government, see, I don't want to go too deep in that, brothers and sisters. This was planned. You didn't find this in already Caucasian shows. You find it Cosby Show started. Because that's an attack to destroy the family unit. But you don't see this. We're going to talk, that's my subject today. We're talking, there's a threat against you. You don't see that. See? Because when people, they panic. When so-called civil rights movement came along, they panicked. And this came up all kinds of ideas and everything to stabilize the black family. Because before that, the black family, they might have been ignorant or whatever, but they were stable. They was unified. When I was a child, all my relatives, we was all together. We lived in Jersey. And we had a lot of relatives down in North Carolina. We used to drive down there, all the holidays and stuff. Everybody be together. Nothing like that now. I don't know anybody is. Nobody else know anybody is. Everybody's going all over the place. Nobody sees anybody anymore. When I was scared, everybody was close. Why? What happened? Is that Cosby shit and all that kind of stuff? They targeted the families. Then they targeted the parenting. Okay, well, they put the father in jail, the mother on welfare. And only way you couldn't get a job. That's necessarily a good thing, right? And so, and so she's on welfare, so you can't be in the house for her to get welfare. Somebody get somebody somewhere. And so forth and so on. So they gave the children control of the female. I'm not saying that women shouldn't have their children. I'm saying they need fathers. So now you got these guys grow up and everything right now. They wear braids. They wouldn't be like, Mom, that's why they wear these braids and stuff. They've been trying. Can you imagine? You couldn't tell anybody back when I was a child. You're gonna sit in a chair and get your hair braided for 4 or 5 hours and pay for it too? Man, you're insane. They'd have called you, You didn't think of anything like that. Because they don't identify with dad, and now the dad's growing up now, they's like that already, so the son really, they're trying to emulate mama. Got earrings in the ears, and that poor Rick James, Trying to be like him? Where's he come? How's he getting down? It's all attack. And you don't see it come. We're gonna talk about that today, brothers and sisters. See? And you got people, whole purpose is make sure you don't see it until it's too late. Because the black family structure is destroyed. It destroyed it. And we might have been ignorant back in the 50s and the 40s. We might have been ignorant, but we was close. We was united as families. Even in neighborhoods. The neighborhood I grew up in, right? Everybody knew everybody. In Newark. Oh, Johnson Avenue, near Woodway Park. Whole community. They built a highway over there. Now they broke the whole community up. Everybody in the community was close. Everybody knew everybody. I'm not talking about just children, the family. I mean, when I was a child, if you did something wrong, boy, neighbors say, hey, man, you tell a neighbor, how much would you give me? Because give me when you get old, right? You respect everybody. And so, on the weekends, man, like where they get together and get a bus ride, the whole community, man, go up to Coney Island or something. You don't do that no more. I've lived all over the states, since I've been an adult. I live next door to people for years, don't even know who they are. And communities don't know nobody who anybody. That wasn't the way the black community was back then. It was close. Our family we all felt connected. Do things together. Have cookouts and things. All that stuff is dead now. Why? It didn't happen until the 60s. Why? Because three-strike law and all this stuff come in, and you're not paying attention. And part of the reason why you're not paying attention, because they got people out there to make sure you never pay attention. We're going to talk about that. And these are traitors here. Because they talking. See, if you don't know what you're talking about, you should be talking. And they obviously don't know what they're talking about, but the point is they got they're on a mission. Because what they're doing is purposeful. They're doing is purposeful. And that's why a grievous chastisement comes to them. The most, let's say the most. And I mean, the worst you can imagine, it's going to be worse than that. Because God's imagination is unlimited. He's the one that, so your imagination is limited. God's imagination is beyond yours, encompasses yours. And so he said you're going to get a most grievous chastisement. Whoa. We ain't talking about 22,000 years in the future anymore. We ain't talking about 2,000 years in the 2,000 months. We're not talking about 2,000 days anymore. Or 2,000 weeks, not 2 days. No, we ain't talking about that. See? We down to hours. I told you, most of these things I'm talking about right now is going to happen within the next few months, before the end of the year. She is ticking out fast. I told you this war was coming. Just go out and check the tapes. It's out there. Let's say deplatform again. I told you this, when they announced, it's going on, I'm guessing no, it's a war in the Middle East going to break out. And that's what's going to trigger Armageddon, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we're going to move on, brothers and sisters. No, I guess I had a double page there. Okay, I'm going to play a couple of things, then I'm going to get to my main topic.
And whether you like it or not, the new ruler is black. He have hair like lamb's wool, and he has feet like burnished brass.
Okay, we'll stop right there for a second. See what we just said? Yeah, they've been telling you Master Muhammad is the Son of Man. He has told you he ain't, because he don't fit that description. And neither does he. Farrakhan doesn't fit that scripture either. So how can he get away with that? Remember, because he's telling you, hey, that's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be. But not, but no way, no. But then, you know, they've been for years. So which one is it? The reason why they can be inconsistent because your relationship with Farrakhan and I get $1,000, you prove me different, is not intellectual. Your relationship with Farrakhan is not intellectual. It's not based on reason and logic. It's based on emotions, how you feel about them, how you like them. That's what it's based on. Because if you get down to reason and logic, he's through. He's toast. Because you can't find anything. I defy you. Anybody that's listening, I defy you. I give $1,000. You find me any scripture that verifies him as he say he is. From any scripture, you can't find one. You can't run the Quran either. Because when Moses came back, he wanted to kill him. You can't find one scripture that validates him in Elijah's absence. Because, Aaron, in Elijah's absence. But you can't find any scripture that validates him as he claims he is, anointing all this stuff in Elijah's absence. You can't find one. Show me one, I get $1,000. No questions asked. You can't find one scripture, not one, anywhere. And you can't find anything in the lessons either. Or anything in Message of the Black Man, or Our Savior's Rise, or Follow Me. You can't find anything, nowhere, that validates him he claims he is. Nothing. He claims Aaron, bad news. Claims Peter, bad news. And you can't find any scripture that verifies nothing. Zero. It's just, you there because you like them. Emotional ties. And that's why you never step at the top. I've been telling you for years. You know I'm here. You send me Nancy, Graham, everything else, but you never step and say, okay, brother, I'll do it publicly. Then you shame me, right? Shame me now. Do it publicly. So okay, I'll get on your little show, show it publicly. And here's the scripture, brother. Where's the $1,000? Here's the scripture that validates him who he says he is. You can't find one nowhere. But you can find a ton of scriptures say he ain't no goddamn good. Can't find one scripture that validates him. In Elijah's absence. None. Zero. I get $1,000 for everyone you can show me. So why don't you step up and get it? Why are you with him? You say you believe in the Quran. You believe in the Bible. Say you believe in the Quran, right? Okay, well, the Quran says Moses wanted to get him when he showed up. Wanted to kill him. If he's claims Aaron. Has he broken the 7 seals? No, he don't even admit that. He admits to that. He's messing the covenant. He don't even preach the covenant. So show me a scripture. Because you with him on an emotional basis. That's why he can say anything he wants to say. He can say this, which totally contradicts everything he's been teaching. And because you're not there, because it's the way he said, oh man, he can really say that stuff, boy. He can really preach like these preachers are. He can really preach. Doesn't matter what he's saying. Like people saying, man, boy, that brother, that's what she can sing, man. Bitch, oh, you know good. You calling all kinds of everything, but you like the beat though. Beat. And they calling all kinds of niggas and hoes and everything else. You know damn good. Your mama no good. Your daddy no good. But hey, man, you know that beat, though. That's what's going on here. So you hang on with that. You know the story about the Pied Piper? See? That story's in Hadith. See? It says he would blow his irresistible music for some years. It says illegitimate children or whatever, I'm paraphrasing. So they'd follow him. And then all of a sudden the music would stop. Suddenly stop. Oh! God told me, be quiet. In the time, my brother's in trouble, all this shit going on, but he gonna be quiet now after you paid him for years, made him much rich. The guy just do all this darkness, and then when the darkness come, be quiet. God damn, boy, I tell you that dude, boy. Well, he right. But he said they be saying, he playing, they be following him, boy. And all of a sudden the music suddenly stopped and they find themselves in hell. And that's what's going to happen in a minute. That's what happened. It's in the deep. Talking about him. Because his music stopping. Suddenly. And you're going to look around and say, oh, God. And you're going to wonder why you was with him, but it's too late then. Too late then. Let's move on. Ooh. Let's get to the next one.
So long till they don't know the birth record. So they just say from remotest antiquity, this is the house that God used to manifest his wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and power in and through. Where is he now? Wherever he want to be. I'm not going to say I know where he is, but I'm glad his power is everywhere. I think I know where he is. I don't want to say because I could be wrong. But he's wherever he wishes to be. Are we to pray and worship Master Farad Muhammad? You don't worship the flesh of any man because the flesh is going to die. But in that flesh is a wisdom and a power superior to any human being on the earth. So when we look to Allah in the person, so long till they don't know the birth record, so they just say from remotest antiquity, this is the house that God used to manifest his wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and power in and through. Where is he now? Wherever he want to be. I'm not going to say I know where he is, but I'm glad his power is everywhere. I think I know where he is. I don't want to say because I could be wrong, but he's wherever he wishes to be. Are we to pray and worship Master Farad Muhammad? You don't worship the flesh of any man because the flesh is going to die. But in that flesh is a wisdom and a power superior to any human being on the earth. So when we look to Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, we look to him. And when he ain't no longer here, the power is going to be here. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he would live a minimum of 400 years, but 400 years ain't no time. He'll be gone. But before he goes, the foundation of what he lays will never be erased from the planet. That's a God. He prays. He prays. He don't pray to himself. You don't say, surely I have turned myself to me. Who does he pray to? He prays in remembrance of him who originated that which he came in. He came in this body. You can't ignore him who originated this. Anyway, it's deep. It's a big subject. So long till they don't know the.
I'm gonna waste time with this dummy because they all saying they say stuff they have no idea what they're talking about. He's gonna tell you what God will do. How you know what God will do? God will do. I'm not. You listen to him last Sunday. He said, "Move on, brothers and sisters. I got too much to talk about this dummy. Y'all dummies. Y'all traitors, and they're dumb because they have no idea. If they had any idea what's about to happen to them, they would keep they would cut their own tongues out. They have built a fast ship they could to get the hell out of this universe. Watch this.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flagler as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is, you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor,
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity. So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. And Mustafa maybe 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you. Go ahead.
One more. You see, brothers and sisters, what you just saw, first of all, with Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad spent his entire ministry driving home that God is not a spirit, not a spoke. He's a man. So you make him other than a man, you make him less than a man, period. It's in the message of black men, it's in Paul America, it's all of it. It's how he lived. He made it very clear. It's going to take, there's no exception. Farrakhan just says a lie. Why? You can't worship a spook. I can't work with a man because it's flesh. So no, and you got to worship something that's not flesh because Farrakhan prays to this something that's not flesh. So that's the real God. So are you too stupid to see that? Well, no, because you're an emotional. Oh man, he's saying something about Farrakhan. He's speaking bad about Farrakhan, man. You better leave Farrakhan alone. That's where he comes from. Because he just killed himself right there. You mean anything on Elijah? No, that's totally a lie what he just said. He telling you to be some mystery God. Don't you tell who the mystery God is. It's a remembrance of him. Somebody's maybe long dead. You ain't even remember. You know, you worship this. First of all, it's not flesh. Somebody that Farrakhan, the master problem, I praise to. But who is it? You have a name? And then you're not even praying to that because you're praying to remembrance of it. What bullshit? That's worse than Christianity. Because he's saying it's a spirit spook, he's saying it's just a memory. You're praying to a memory. That's deep. That is some deep. He said it was deep, man. It is deep. You're praying to a memory. So memory, please save my ass, memory. Please get out of this trouble, memory. No wonder we didn't get nowhere. Praying to a damn memory. But see, that's the point. He makes my point so very clearly. Because any rational, reasonable person, right, that knows that he's saying this, you misregard him, it's a mystery, and plus it's totally inconsistent. That's Elijah Muhammad's base message. And he says, and that's a lie. Elijah Muhammad a liar. What else he called him? He said, Elijah Muhammad said, that's where, he said, if you make other than that, and he said, no, he is, no, Elijah Muhammad's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. And then this clown here, show me anything in the lessons, anything Elijah Muhammad taught that vow he just said. It ain't, it's this, it's this. And It ain't about color. No, it ain't about skin color. That's true. I never said that myself. It ain't about skin color. If that's the case, demons be cool. It's about your nature. And a wolf in sheep clothing, it has the nature of a wolf. It may look like a sheep, but it's still a wolf. You go by his nature, not by his skin tone. And Father Flazier is a devil. So he said, oh, it ain't about that. And then try to use it like fire, Master Fire Muhammad. That's what Wallace used to do. That's the trick Wallace did. That same trick Malcolm did. So they use that same trick. They play a game. They say, oh, Elijah can't be right because Malcolm, what he did, he went over to the Middle East. And everybody, I mean, I didn't know what a Muslim was, right? But everybody knew people in the Middle East because that's what he saw in the movies, right? Sinbad selling that kind of stuff. It was all white folks. You know, all those movies they had, Sinbad, Seller, and all that stuff. They had Boo's Kids, right? Open Mess, Sesame, all that kind of stuff, right? The people over in the Middle East, man, I don't know what we call them rabbis. I don't know what we call them back then, but it's the people over there, right? So he goes over there. He comes back, right? And says, oh, man, those folks, they're white. Elijah Muhammad said, white people. He didn't say that. That's not what the lesson said. So Cajun white man, because they say, see, Master Muhammad, he's white, so he must be a devil too. I'll see the same trick, this trick they're using there. Because the lesson say Caucasian white man. They say, well, look, see, Master Muhammad, he's white. And they can get away with that because you're down an emotional trip. See? Because you ain't there intellectual. You're not there for truth and reason. You ain't there for that. You're there undercover, or you just told idiot, or you're a demon. Demons got to go along the program. Or you just on an emotional trip. I see how nice he look. That's one of the reasons why he's out of public view for almost a year. Because he said he's so decrepit right now. See, that'll break that connection. See, that'll break that trance. Yeah. Because you say, oh man, whew. See, because they keep showing you all the stuff, old stuff. People who's handsome, you know, Don Juan. They can show you old stuff on the internet now. God is flooded with old stuff, where it used to look. Because if you somehow look right now, that'll break you out of that spell. You lose that connection. See, the emotional connection. See, like, you know, you fall in love with a male and female, right? Oh, until you get them close, find who they really are. Because you're in love with the emotion. When you meet them, you love what you see and what you hear. See? So, you know, once you find who they are intellectually, that may be a whole different story. Depends on who you are. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. That's why they get away with that. Because he can say anything. Like these rappers. Look some of the stuff they say out there. See, that's when false Israel got a hold to it. Before they got a hold to it, when it was Tupac and Sister Soldier. You know, Sister Soldier, you know, that sister was, you don't hear too much about her anymore. I think she's still around. Yes. Yes. Hello? I take that bounce. He's got a family member that's got an issue. Well, he has issues. Was I had I forgot what I was there, bro. Saying it was talking about emotion. Well, I'll get back to it. Okay. That's an interruption. Okay, I'll get back to it. Anyway, I want to talk about what's happening and the plans they have for us. I'll get to, but as well, I was saying before about Farrakhan and okay, he was saying all stuff about his skin, and that's how they was playing that game. See? And they get away with it because they said you're on the emotional plane. You're on the emotional plane. So they say they went to, oh, that's what I was saying about rappers and stuff. I was talking about Sister Soldier. Now, young sister, beautiful sister. See, and she was breaking it down about our situation. I think like that sister. Anybody heard of her anymore? What's the one? Jill Scott. Jill Scott. What her name was? Remember she went out there and broke that thing down about the Star Spangled Banner, or whatever. You heard from her anymore? She told it like it is. Because that we got blacks singing that song, and they go out there in these sort of sports events, and they have a black person. Oh, say, can you see? Why they got black person up there? And you had to read the lyrics. Oh, man, I believe in the Constitution. If you look at the Constitution and say we're 3/5 human, it's still in there. It was in there when Barack Obama was president. It's still in the Constitution that we're 3/5 human. They said, well, we didn't mean that. Well, it's in there. If it don't mean it, we take it out. And Jill Scott, whatever her name, I think it's Jill Scott, right? She's saying, she told it what it really, go look at the lyrics. Look at what the words actually say. So why have a black person sing all the time? That's not, see, I'm going to get off key here. See? What have the black folks doing all the time? And so it's just a soldier, right? And Bill Clinton, when he was running for president, he attacked a young sister. He attacked her publicly. Well, you can't have people singing like that or anything. He had her shut down. I haven't heard from her since. I think she's still alive. They shut her down. Got Tupac killed. You know, his mother was a Black Panther. They got her killed. Got here. And then they started putting their bullshit. Talking about hoes and pimps and sucking this and ducking that. That's the name of the game. They hold to it. Who controls that? Well, it's Israel. People say the Jews are not. They're your friends. That's the name of the game, brothers and sisters. See? They had this other brother, Gil Scott Heron. He was positive too. You know him. He was the original rapper. Both black folks learned by him. He was rapping for that. He was the original rapper for Tupac and all of them. Gil Scott Heron. Check him out. That revolution would not be publicized. You want to know these things. They fill your head with all this bullshit. It's all aimed at, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. Like I said, like I said, Bill Clinton, he wanted to play, he tried to be black. Yeah, he's the one to put 3-strike laws, put women on, cut women off of welfare, and that's a whole nother story together. Now that, we'll have to move on, because that sounds the opposite of the way it should sound, so let me leave that alone right now. Okay, let me talk a few things before I get into it, brothers and sisters. See, the problem is they don't understand what's going on in the Middle East right now, and most of you don't understand because you don't pay attention to it. You in NFL and with all that stuff, right? NBA. But the reason everybody said, why are they doing this? Why are they doing it? They can't get a clear picture. They got a puzzle, but you can't get the piece quite right. Because the main ingredient is us. We're the main ingredient of what's happening over there. What's happening in the world right now, we're the center of it. And we listen to them. We have nothing to do with it. It's all around us. We are the center of what's going on in the world right now. Why all this is going over in the Middle East and everything else, All that's going on right now is we're the center of it. That's why anybody can get in the focus of it. Why they do it? Why does it make sense? Why do they protect false citizens no matter what? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? See? And so I'm going to give you little highlights and I'm going to get into the subject because it's the subject I'm going to talk about, right? I'm gonna get some, because what we say here, see, first of all, the angel proves everything. It's comprehensive. It identifies everybody. The dragon, the dragon, the beast, false prophet, antichrist, jinn, right? It identifies everyone. Shaitan. Identifies everyone. Son of perdition identifies everybody. Right? Once you get the key, it identifies everybody. It's comprehensive. That's why Elijah Muhammad said truth be so clear, so in the full and error. So right there, you have to guess, because everybody outside to guess and they have no idea. If they have broken the seals, they shouldn't be talking to them. But like I said, you're dealing on the emotional level. So you're dealing on the emotional level. The first person comes up. It pleases you, that's the one you're going to listen to. They're singing your tune, that's the one you're going to listen to. Right? Got your rhythm, that's the one you're going to listen to. It ain't about truth. And that's like the Pied Piper. They're going to lead you right into destruction, then cut the music off, then you're going to find yourself in deep, deep trouble. Because you don't want to use this. It's all on an emotional level. Because all these people that got you, they can't prove a goddamn thing, talk about none of them. I just show you Farrakhan saying stuff totally against what Elijah said, and plus it doesn't make any sense anyway. But it makes sense to you because you ain't on that, because it makes sense to you because it makes emotional sense because it makes you feel good. I mean, I can't stop eating the pork chops, man. I love the way it tastes. That's emotional reaction. You know it's going to kill you. You know it's bad for you. But it's an emotional reaction. See? Because you can't control your emotions. You have to discipline and control your emotions. And that's what they got. They keep you on the emotional plane. All these distractions, emotional plane. So you out there you're going to concerts and all that stuff. But you ain't taking time to read no book. You don't have time to read a book. Studies. And that gets back to reparations, right? They can talk about reparations. Show me in the Bible where it talks about reparations. Tell me where it shows anything about reparations. Show me where it's in there. And that's what God said, we're going to get reparations. And if you got reparations, what you going to do with it? The money that they give, the money that they gave it to you, they control the money. Or what fund to represent some states? If they gave it to you, what you going to do? Are you prepared to run 6 states? Are black folks ready, prepared to run their own 6 states right now, or even 1 state? Say give them 1 state, give them Texas, just 1 state. Give them a small one, New Jersey. All black folks move to Jersey and that mirrors yours. How long do you think it will last? Can you run it? Because these clowns are telling you this stuff. Are they preparing you for it? In other words, God told them that you're going to get reparation. So if there is, well, how come you're not preparing for it? So if they suddenly give it, the devil should really blow you away. He should say, okay, I'm going to give it to you. He told his dad tomorrow, okay, you got it. You have your head up his ass before midnight. Please help me do this, help me do that, help me do this. You might as well stay there. Farrakhan been telling you for years. Has he prepared you for it? Except in schools? I mean, did God tell him that he don't give you reparations? If he did, how come you're not preparing you for it? If he thought you was going to get it, if he thought you was going to get it, that's what he's selling you. They thought they was going to get it. Remember, are they selling you a dream? Or they selling you a vision? A vision is something that you believe you can attain. So you got some evidence you can attain it. A dream is just something you have. So they offer you a dream or a vision. They offer you a dream that maybe might happen. So you falling for a fucking dream? Oh, reparations. Tell me something that tells you you're going to get reparations, even if you're going. So you find they're selling you a dream, but they still want you to pay them. So you're a dream. And so that's you gonna follow a dream? Where's that gonna get you? When you wake up? It's not a vision. A vision is something that you got some kind of evidence that it's going to happen, and you're proceeding towards it. But they got you Farrakhan. What's the Farrakhan vision? Where's the Farrakhan vision? Stay here and what? He's all decrepit now. He can't get you anywhere. So you stay here, then what? Then what? America's in trouble, so you tied to where America's got to tell you she's under judgment. He's telling you America's under judgment. Whole country's under judgment. So therefore, you're going to stay here and you're going to experience the judgment, because that's what it says in chapter 18. It says, get the hell out of here, so you don't taste her judgment. But he said, no, I don't mean we're going to stay here. We're going to be protected. All you got to do is come out of religion or names. And that's somehow to protect you from the plagues and stuff. And then we're taking COVID. That's the first plague. It's a bona fide, because it says the plague will start after 400 years. 1619, 2019, boom. 2020, the first plague came and killed the firstborn elderly, and did not affect Africa, did not affect Haiti, it wouldn't affect you either if you was original. But it was killing Farrakhan's people, all these lies, they're dropping like flies, because they're demons. They're really black, white people with black skin. He walking around in a mask. So if that's protect you, then why was his people dying? His own people. That's a sign right there. That means you got to get the hell out of here. Why was he wearing a mask? He's out of his name. He's out of all that stuff. Say, son, your dreams. And then what? Have you wake up? It's a dream. He been saying 40 to me, you want to get reparations, and we're going to make it happen here in America, and all that stuff. And and we working together. And America's in trouble right now. You can't see it. They're about to blow the damn planet up. That's where he's in trouble. You got terrorists and everything else. Why are you doing that stuff? Because they're in trouble. Yeah, but you want spirit, you want to taste it, because America's economy go down. America's economy collapse. Somehow because you with Farrakhan, it's not going to affect you. All the other plagues that's coming is already couple plagues are going. You don't understand the plagues. They say on your dreams. So when that Farrakhan said in dream, he's gone, then you wake up. Because what dream you going to follow after he's gone? Elijah Muhammad was selling your vision, and Farrakhan killed the vision. Because that's the messenger of the covenant. That's who's supposed to come after him. And and I'm going to get to that in a minute. Well, let me speak to that now. See, the Abrahamic covenant, right? You got a vision part, and you got there's a covenant part. The covenant part, right, is not a prophecy. Pay close attention. The covenant part is not a prophecy. It's God's word. It's a contract. So if you say it ain't going to happen, you call God a goddamn liar. It's not a prophecy. The vision part is a prophecy. The other part is a concept. I made a covenant. That's a contract, my word, that you're going to return to Arabia between River Euphrates and after the 400 years. So you call God a goddamn liar. And the point is, that's what Farrakhan, you say you ain't going nowhere. So you'll get that, you're in emotional contact with him. That's why the message of the covenant had to come. That's what Joshua was told, to finish it off, to get you home. He didn't ask for any money, so it's a free deal. You already paid the price, now you're getting reward. But you're rejecting the reward because I don't want that. I don't want that goddamn reward. I want the reparations. I don't want the vision, I want the dream. I want reparations. I want to stay here with keep my head master's ass. They get the so-called Native Americans, they get them 6 states. Where they at now? 6 states this year, next year took them back. Where they at now? A reservation place with nothing. That's what's going on. So And that Farrakhan, well, no, he's quiet. Well, wait a minute, Farrakhan, you sold us a dream. Well, I don't see anything. Where's Farrakhan? God told him to be quiet. What we going to do, Farrakhan? What we supposed to do now? The world's blowing up. Everything's going bad. They're talking about war, World War III. What's going on, Farrakhan? God told him to be quiet. Yeah, but Farrakhan, we paid you 40-some years. What's going on? Explain to us what's going on right now. So your dream. See, because Elijah Muhammad came with a vision. That vision unite people. Visions unite people. Because they have a common vision, so they have a common destination. Because vision gives you a destination. Gives you a path. And so everybody got the same direction and same path. That's unity. They travel the same road to the same point. That's a vision. Dreams all over the place. And that's why Elijah Muhammad gave the dream of vision, Abrahamic covenant. And it says right in Malachi, message of covenant, something come in his temple, that's going to fill it. Going to fill it. But they don't tell you about the message of covenant. They'll never mention them. You heard Farrakhan never mention the message of covenant. It's right there in Malachi. They didn't part the book and display the other. Same book they tell you that you got to believe in Elijah for. They disregard the message of covenant. And they tell you Elijah totally in the nature of Islam. Where is he at? Don't say that. He never said that. You understand, brothers and sisters? It's in your dream. Now Farrakhan, he's decrepit and everything else. So what you going to do now? Dreams turn to nightmare because you have no guidance right now because everything's. That's why you're not talking about anything. You're talking about bullshit. Well, God's love, God's faith. What they tell you is, hey man, well, it's dark, man, so here's a cane. Fill your way around. You don't have a light. The light just went out. Farrakhan was a light. He can turn out. So here's a cane. Right? Here's a cane. Fill your way around. That's what they're giving you. Have faith in Farrakhan and stick with it. No, stick with God. Where? For what purpose? What? Just have faith and stick on. That's what they tell you. Don't have no lights, they give you a cane. And you go along with it. So like I said, the whole story of the Middle East, and I'm not sure I'm going to get to it. I'm really talking about a lot of it right now. Right? The story of the Middle East, Elijah Muhammad gave you a vision and was uniting people. It was gradually bringing our people together. Even if you wasn't with Elijah, you admired him. Most people, they were sympathizers. The Black Panther movement, all that stuff that came out of that. But you had a lot of these little creeps and everything would distract them, like Malcolm X and Yahweh, Ben Yahweh, and what's the other ones? Clarence 13X, 10%, all that kind of crap, 5%ers. But he had he had distractions back then. And they said, man, you can't have that. You can't have them because it was uniting black folks. Even if you wasn't in, you were sympathetic with it. Elijah Muhammad, and I'm from Newark, right? He owned Newark. When I came back from the military, Newark he owned Newark. They might not have been in Temple, but they owned Newark. Everybody was on board with it. On Watts, on Detroit. I don't know where else. They sure had the spirit. It was gathering speed. In spite of Malcolm and all these clowns with their BS. They said to put it out, man, because these people can't come together. We're the Corvette. And so that's why I said 48, right? False Israel. Because it was a clear vision that we're the true seed of Abraham. So no. That's what confirms the vision, because the vision is based on who we are. If we're not true seed of Abraham, that vision don't mean anything. Being the true seed of Abraham validates the vision. So they said, no, we're going to take the foundation out. They're not true seed of Abraham, and put false Israel up. They said they are, because they was hating the people the day before. They was killing them, wiping them out. All of a sudden they love them because they would do that. That's what it's all about in the Middle East. I told whole presentation talk about the dilemma. That's all about. That's why they got to hold false Israel no matter what. Because if false Israel goes down, that vision comes clear. There's no one else can put up. So that vision comes clear that we choose Abraham, especially in these times, because you see all over the internet right now. All of a sudden, you never seen it like this before. We choose Abraham. All over the internet now. YouTube. That's why, and so that's why America got sick with false. No, because if they fall, that means our vision comes back. The vision is reestablished. And it'll be more powerful now than ever. Because black folks were coming together overnight, like a seemingly great army, once that vision is reestablished. So that's why he's backing them. They can't let false Israel go down. False Israel is going down. But false Israel, right? They know that the only reason they're there to throw us off, to keep us from who we are, because they still hate them. They still hate each other, right? And the house of Saad, the Ishmael, they got our land over there. They got to go along the game too. Because they tried to talk Elijah to stop teaching that stuff. He wouldn't do it. So they paid Farrakhan off. Farrakhan's a goddamn lie. They pay him. They were doing it to Wallace, because I was over Wallace's place over there when he had so-called masjids. And when you went in there, if you went in, anybody knows anything about it, if you went to his so-called Friday prayers and stuff, right? And you sit right in the back, there'd be a table, and there'd be Arabs from Saudi Arabia sitting back there in their full Arab dress and everything else, monitoring the meeting to make sure, see what you're saying. Because they was paying them to stop teaching. That's why Wallace got rid of all of it. So I teach Sunniism. Because Sunniism, that, you know, we ain't nothing. We just something. And they paid Farrakhan off too. He said he is getting money from them. He got a lot of money from Gaddafi. He's getting money from them to stop teaching about we received Abraham and that's our land. And then they turn white to prove it, because those folks are black folks over there. White folks call them desert niggers. Why didn't they call them that? Look it up. That's what you used to call them. They know they're our brothers, half brothers. And they were dark. And so now they're taking these dyes and all that kind of stuff. Some of them, you know, after marriage and intermarriage and everything else, but they turn light. So now they can say, see, false Israel, they white, we white, so we brothers. They know that's not their brother, because how they fighting to kill each other. They know false Israel is not their brother, but they got to go along with it to keep us from realizing who we are. Because we got the force of God behind us. And they know if you start thinking like that, you're in trouble. And then we just stabilize America. And we get up, they don't want us thinking that way. So everybody's on page online with that idea. That's why you see what's going over there. That's why they're not helping. That's why they're not attacking false Israel. And even though false Israel are killing their parents, killing their children, their wives. I mean, remember, the Palestinians, they're Arabs. So they come in the house, you have family reunion, a couple of guys come in there, and they grab all the women and children and beat them and rape them and everything else. Everybody's standing around just looking. Well, what's wrong with y'all? How you ain't doing anything? They outnumber 11 to 1 out there. Like it was about 100 million Arabs and like 7 million Jews. And they out there killing women openly, invading her, ain't doing anything. Why? Because they can't get rid of them. Because then the vision come back and we that's what's driving this whole damn thing. They don't want you to know that. That's what you see, because it don't make any sense. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing it? It don't make any sense. That's why Iran, because Iran get ready to blow the whole deal. Because Iran knows who we are. The original Persian was black to begin with anyway. And they're not hiding it. Iran's the only thing stopping them from taking the military. Then that's what the Jews also know. The other problem they got, they know the other problem they got is, right, that the only reason they're there to keep us from seeing who we are. But they getting ripping us off too. And they know that their plan, remember they stole secret documents, they know their plan is to get rid of us. They can't keep this lie going on forever. They got to finally get rid. That's what scripture, I'm going to show you the scriptures that tell you they're trying to get rid of us. And the Jews know they plan to do that. They don't want to get rid of us. There's no reason for them to be in existence anymore anyway. And they go back to them again. And so they say, well, we already know what they're planning. So we got to make sure when they get rid of them, and they know that that's happening, that's in the process of happening right now. I'm going to show it to you. Then they won't come back and get rid of us. So we got to make sure that don't happen. So now we got nuclear weapons, and we got to take over the Middle East. You control that oil. So therefore, if we got to control it, they can't mess with us. We got nuclear weapons. Then we got them by the testicles on their knees, because the Europeans need that oil to survive. And now they have control of it. And the only thing stopping them is Iran. So they can't take them out, so they got to get America to do it. America don't want it, because the whole idea was America was, when it took us out, they was going to let Iran take them out. Because they don't want them either. But then you need them to take care of us, to keep us from seeing who we are. Once that's done, they got rid of them. They got rid of both their problems, us and them. That's what's really going on. You look at it from that point of view, everything falls into place. So they got to get America, take out Iran. When they take Iran, then what's going to stop them taking Arabia? What's going to stop them taking? They're taking all those other countries. They take everything except Arabia. That's the only one they didn't mention. Why didn't they mention that one? Because that'd be too obvious. When they take care of Arabia, they got control of the oil. They got control of that wealth. They got Europe on its knees because they need that oil from the Middle East. They got nuclear weapons. Now they're power in the world. And Christians can't touch them, because Christians been trying to kill them for 2,000 years. That's what's going on. You put that old thing coming in focus. But if you listen to them, we ain't even in the picture. But we are the picture. And you got people over here, right, that's work with them, because Farrakhan, same thing. All right, we ain't going nowhere. See? So that satisfies the Arabs over there, could stop telling them that stuff. See? And if he said we ain't going nowhere, he called God a liar. So that ain't ours over there. So maybe you get the point. Move on, brothers and sisters. Let me get it, because I'm going to repeat a lot of stuff I just said. I just gave it in a synopsis. That's what's going on in the world. See? And okay, well, I didn't say the method of getting rid of us. I'm going to talk about that a little more in detail. But if you understand Angel Key, the river, it says throw them into the river. Because they tried abortion, that didn't work. It's just like, I gave you an example about this emotional thing. I knew this woman, had my contracting business, right? And I used to go through her. She used to point me out to some place where they had contracts, right? She was like I don't know, I forget what you referred to, right? But like a broker or something, right? And she that was in Chicago. So when I moved back to New Jersey, right? We kept contact. I'm not gonna mention the name, right? And so she came out to Philly or something, whatever. And so she stopped. She came to New Jersey and met my children in Carolina, And like I said, I was living in a mini mansion then, rolling dough and everything. And so something came about Planned Parenthood. So I said, you know about Planned Parenthood? I said, I forgot that woman's name that started, right? Her purpose, if you go to read it, you just read it. Planned Parenthood, I can't remember the name of the woman that she started. But she started, the purpose was to get rid of black people. That was her reason. And she said she had the preachers on board, and they was going to convince black women to get abortions. She said she had them in her pocket. Her name keeps slipping my mind. Anyway, and and I was telling her, and the woman got mad with me. Man, he said my Planned Parenthood, because the Democratic emotional plane, when it was clear this woman started, right? She started was back in the 20s, I think it was, when they had what they call that stuff, what do they call it? Get the term they use, but it means engineering race. Oh, I just had to tip my tongue. Eugenics. Eugenics. Right? And that was, they was promoting eugenics back there because eugenics was supposed to be to to perfect the Caucasian race. Why was to get rid of us because we was causing problems being around here affecting eugenics. Look it up. This was they was pushing. This was American whole thing eugenics. And one part of it was is to sterilize black women, and a lot of women got black women. They go in, they get pregnant, or whatever, or they have a baby, and the doc would sterilize them without telling them, so they couldn't have any babies anymore. Eugenics, look it up. See, this stuff happening, and you see my fist bumping these people who rape your grandmother, kill them, and burn them up, and put stuff and piss in their mouth and everything else. And they want you to just forget it. Oh, just forget about that. Really? They want reparation, want money. How much money is okay to rape your mama? How much money is okay? $1 million? They can rape your mama and just give you $1 million? Is that much? Your great grandmama? Well, it was your great grandmother. You did great. So okay, she's my great grandmother. So you just give me a $10,000. You can rape her and piss in her mouth and everything else. How much money does it take? How much money will you take? That's what you're doing. And they came back here forward, they'll curse your ass. Because ain't no amount of money in the world's gonna take, and they're gonna pay me for what they did to my ancestors. So you wanna piss off on your ancestors, then you go ahead and do that. I'm not doing that. It's not enough money in the universe to make me forget of what they did to my ancestors, my grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother. So you take your reparations. I can't think of the woman's name. Susan? No, that's yes. I'll go ahead and check it out real fast. See, all this stuff is available. That's one of the things too, because this stuff is available, but you don't read it. So Margaret Singer. Margaret Singer. Margaret Singer. Her whole purpose was, and she was a member of the Ku Klux Klan. Her whole member was she said Planned Parenthood to wipe out the black race. They had this thing called eugenics. Look it up. That was the thing that was going on back in the 20s, 30s. The big thing at the so-called World Fair. Eugenics. Getting rid of us. Okay, let's look at a couple things. I'm not going to. I got a whole lot of topics here, as you can see. So I'm not covering them all. I'm just going to get to a couple of them. Let's see. Oh, let me do this one. Two of them, yeah, okay. Uh, I guess. Yeah, I got a laptop. Okay, I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna go over this, and I'm probably the next couple of days. Cause I got a lot of topics there, and there's no way I'm at about 5 hours worth of stuff there. I'm gonna talk about this because I want you. I want to talk to you about what's the plan they have. Well, let me say a couple things about that in highlights. Okay. If you notice a few things going on right now, you know, if you come, you know, you build somewhere, if you want to test it, right? It works, right? It's like, you know, when they test a car, they have a dummy in there. Right? See how the dummy reacts, and they say, well, that's pretty how much we're going to react. So look at the programs that all of a sudden come into view. Okay. You know, it's against the Constitution, so-called Constitution, right? To have the military, not talking about National Guard or the police, the military, national military, to work on American soil against American citizens. That's illegal. Right? Now, the government called National Guard, that's for the state. But the president controls the military, right? And they can't operate on American soil unless there's a war and they're defending, right? Otherwise, they can't. But Trump got around that. And the way he got around it, because remember when they had that little riot in California, he sent troops out there, and the government said, that's against the Constitution. You can't do that. And Trump got away with it. Nobody said anything. That's totally against the Constitution. There's a reason for it. Okay, keep that in mind. He can do that now. Okay. The other thing is that they got open genocide in Gaza. Open. I mean, it's clear. It's on video. Everybody knows it. It's clear. All you gotta just look. They got videos and everything else. They're just killing those people openly. They're not hiding it. And they're laughing about it. They got my video laughing about it. Just shooting babies in the head and carrying on. Going to hospitals and shooting people on operating tables and stuff, killing doctors. This is open. They got videos of them doing it. But it's not showing American media. It's quiet here. So you have to go on YouTube and everything, and then you see the videos, and you got the Doctors Without Borders, all these people. You even had John McCain, how crazy he was before he died of brain cancer. His wife went over there, and she came back and says, they were starving to death over there. She said, I went over, drove in the car, and they kept running to my car because they were so hungry. So is she crackpot? How come the media over here is not talking about it? They openly, open genocide. They're not hiding it. The whole world knows about it. Open. And every day they tell them, okay, they keep them from having food, starving to death, children die of hunger, skin and bones. And they tell them, okay, we got food over here. So they run over there, and then snipers just popping up, shooting them in the testicles and everything else. Killing them. Run over with tanks and everything else. Right? Some people say it's the same thing as Holocaust. They kill thousands like that, thousands, and doing hundreds a day. No food or water going in. Some people haven't taken baths in weeks. And the water is, they're drinking bad water. I don't know where they're getting it from. But this is open now. So now, Trump's getting away with it because, remember, you can't blame false Israel because it's like, here you out here and you shooting, but I gave you the gun, I'm getting the bullets. So who's responsible for it? I keep getting the bullets, I keep giving you the guns, and you pulling the trigger. So who's responsible for the crime? The one pulling the trigger, or the one to keep getting the guns, and they know what they're doing. They see my dick shooting people, and here's another gun, here's some more bullets. So who's responsible? Because that's what happened. False couldn't do that without America fighting. They say 90% of what I think it's somewhere 89% of the resource they need to continue to has come from America. America's funding it. Okay? So America, if you don't say 100%, they responsible for it. Because if they stop giving the guns, stop getting the bullets, the killing will stop. Like that. Okay? Okay, so you got that going on. You got, and then they got another thing where this is again illegal, but Trump got it through. And I think it's Venezuela where they put in those jails. Now they can take American citizens out of American prisons, born here, not illegal, and ship them down there in their prisons. They ain't never coming back. So how can you do that? Well, got that through too. So what the hell is going on? Is there a kind of rhyme or reason to this thing? I mean, they come together somehow. Right? And now he wants to put Obama in jail, says he's a traitor. But that'd get a lot of black folks upset too. I don't know why, because they knew who Obama was. They wouldn't be. Anyway. And then he's saying that he wants to stop affirmative action, all that kind of stuff. That's going to get black folks all upset. So black folks get upset and they start acting up. What happens? Right? Well, they had a cop go out and kill somebody. Remember to have George Floyd? Then they got to bring the military in. See, not in the security guard, because not security, because Johnson, no. We're going to send the military in. Next, send the military in on you. That's going to cause more uprisings. Remember so-called civil rights, where all the states were uprising. So now they can send the military in. The military, they come and shoot you. See, but if they arrest you right, they don't have to put you in prison here. Send you down in Venezuela. You're never coming back. And they start just killing you. Well, look what they're doing with Gaza. Anybody saying about that? The media's not going to report it. You get it? You see the point? They're doing a test run right now. Setting the world up to wipe your ass out. That's exactly what the Bible says they're doing. Test run. See, you got dummies do it. Oh, the illegals. Oh, the Palestinians. Test run. Wipe your ass out. Because he can do it right now. Or just put you in the picture, take the illegals out, the Palestinians out and everything, and put you in that picture. What's the difference? But now you're gone. Put you in the same picture. And they're much more like you because you black. At least they light. And they got some help. Even they don't help them. But the possible, we don't. Who help us? You're always getting upset about, oh, we're the Palestinians, anybody you. But what happened when they come after your ass? Nobody marched for you. Who's gonna stand for you? They're doing a test run. They're getting ready, and false Israel knows that. That's why they try to push that war in Iran, take out Iran, so they can get, because nothing to stop them take over the Middle East. Because they know if they take us out, they're gonna be next. So that's why they got in a rush to take out Iran, so they can get the whole Middle East. So now they protect it. When they take us out, they got protected because now they're a world force. They got military, they got nuclear weapons, and they control the oil. So nobody F with them. That's what's going on. Tell them I'm lying. That's exactly what's going on. See? That's what's going on. They round up illegals when they start rounding you up. And that's exactly what it says happen. That's what it says. When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, when is that going to happen? When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies talking to you, flee. Because they come at you hard and heavy. They said, don't go in your house, get your baby. Don't do anything. Don't read your text. Nothing. Just run immediately. Why you got to run so fast? What? Because they already planned and they're ready for your ass. Now they close the door on you like a snare. You don't see it coming and say, no, you up in it. That's why you got to flee idea, because they already got you surrounded. Your head's already in the lion's head. Your head's already in the lion's mouth. That's why you got to feel like that. You can't When you say put your head, because blind's great, chow down on you. They already got it set up. Why would they tell you to flee like that if it wasn't already set up? I mean, you don't have time to think. You already got the trap set. All you got to do is spring it. Why I tell you to flee like that? It has to be set up already. It has to be set up already. Just got to press the button. And we send them out, and you send them out, NFL, all that, okay. I just show you. Why do you got those things going? And those are exactly what they need. If they were going to take care of you, what would they need to do to do it? What would a guy like, what would a president that wanted to focus on getting rid of you, what would he have to do it? Without you realizing it. He needs the military, had moved except close in on you, get ready, right? He need that. He need permission, right? To take you, he had control of the media, so nobody knew what's going on, because you wouldn't even hardly know anything about going over there based on what the media here telling you. And already desensitized everybody because, hey, see, genocide over there, so they have genocide over here. And if they don't care, if nobody's caring about the Palestinian genocide, what the hell you think is going to care about you? They care about them more than you. They got people over there, friends and everything over there. What you got over here? And why Farrakhan not telling you about it? Because he's part of it. But the fool, he doesn't know, like all the demons don't know, that once they get rid of them, us, they want to get rid of them too. You know, I told a story about Gene Hackman. He played his movie after Geronimo, I think it was Geronimo, I guess it was. And they couldn't get him. So they went to this other Apache tribe, Seminole or whatever. It was another tribe that was not his tribe. I don't know if he was, Geronimo was Apache, whatever. But they had another tribe that wasn't part of his tribe. But they was like, you know, a little fraction. So Hackman played a general. He went to the other tribe and says, can you help me get Geronimo? Because they knew how to track and all that kind of stuff, right? So they helped him to find. They trapped Geronimo, trapped him and got him. Right? True story. So they captured him, and according to this movie, they took him down and put him in some prison in Florida, where he probably ended up dying eventually, right? And all the soldiers that was with this other patch or wherever they were, Seminoles, whatever, they lined them up in the fort, right? They took all the weapons, all the rifles from them. Then they read a letter to him that says, the president, whoever the president was, we thank you for your service. Then they put his ass in the same prison they put Geronimo. Because the training was all looking at each other. You got 400 years with these people. And keep listening, these assholes keep telling you, hey man, they good. This is this. Ask the Native American what happened to them. Go grab your brothers in Africa, what happened to them. They commit genocide. And what Falls Israel is doing right now, nobody talks about it. America did 1,000 times work for 40 years. 1,000 times work for 40 years. So we're going to talk about that. That's another thing. Because Falls Israel say, hey man, hey dad, I'm just following your footsteps. Because that's how you in America. Nobody invited you over here. You came over here, you commit genocide, you killed people, women and children, millions of them. Then you dragged us over here, beat us, enslaved us, and pissed in our mouth and everything else for 40 years. So how is what I'm doing so bad? You see what I'm saying? It's all set up. That's the plan. That plan will work. And then you eradicate it. See? The original plan was, the backup plan was, is to throw them in the river. That's why I was trying to get a war with China. They didn't want a nuclear war. They just want a conventional war. Because right now they don't have a draft. But if they go to war with China, they have to have a draft because they got 1 billion people over there. America, they got outnumbered 10, 20 to 1. So they have to have a draft. Who's going to be the biggest draft? And military, they got 200 million man army. That's almost more the population of the United States, just for the army over there. So they throw you in there. That's why they throw in the river. You understand your key? They represent the river. So kill you in that. So most of you be wiped out. The rest of you in jail. You in jail, right? That isn't a jail birth control. Just as good as abortion, right? Because you ain't producing anything. If you're dead, you ain't producing anything, so what's left? That's one of the ways it's going to get you. But that's not working out too well because this other stuff happened, right? See, that was a plan they had initially, right? But false Israel got hold to it. Said, no, we got to do it this way. Because we got to get rid of, because once they get rid of them, they're going to get rid of us. See, they're going to get rid of us, that war. And they're going to let false Iran loose on false Israel. They said, no, we can't, Because they knew what's going on. They know what they planned for them. They want to get rid of them too. We want brothers and sisters. Anyway, I just want to explain this right. So I'm gonna get maybe on to tomorrow. Really get deeper into this plan because it's in motion right now, and they're gonna push the button any day now. But see, Master Muhammad knows the plan. See, and Obama's a part of this plan too. We can prove it. Not for your benefit. See, but that's what it says. Master Muhammad is gonna go ahead and kick this war in the Middle East. It's distracting them and take false Israel down before they take us down. And once they have, that means that because us to realize, have a common vision and come together, let's see a straight army. But we get the common vision, and when they see us start coming together, then they attack us. Say, okay, false Israel's going down. We can't vision that false vision is gone. So we can't let people come together. So they're going to attack you. So you got your mind back, so then they're going to physically attack you. And that's at the point that you come together. That's going to help you come together because now you're under attack. Then you're going to see the benefit of being united. There's no story together, bro. So let's start with this because there's a couple points I want to make here. See here? Now, this is just a representation. But just say this is your gene. All your genes, because we got the original people had the full set of genes. All the animals have a subset. All the animals or all biological life is because of genes. And we had a full set. They have some portion of it because it all came from us. The Quran says, from one life, all life came. So everything came out of us. Everything. The female didn't come out of us. We separated equal. That's the whole story together. Right? But I tell you, you're going to easily kill that story. Because it says, according to I'm not sure how exact. Anyway, the point is, we were alive, and then at some point in time, we saw the woman inside, we pulled her out. That means that don't make any damn sense. Because we was alive, and we was producing. How did we produce? So in other words, the original man was alive forever by himself. And then he said, well, I'm going to pull a woman out of me. So I shouldn't have the physiology that's complementary to a woman, right? Because there wasn't no woman. So I had to pull her out of me. That means I have to change my physique too to complement the female, right? You see, it don't make any sense. So if I pull her out of me, right? Then the point is that she's out, right? So why I got breasts then? Why I need breasts for? What do men need breasts for? They got them. See, they ain't not functional, but they had them. Sometimes they had them. So they must have, if they pulled a woman out, they must have had the breast before the woman was there. So why would they have breasts? They ain't need them. See, you can easily kill that story. And I'm leave it there at that point. Anyway, no, we separated together. That's another story. Anyway, move on. Not get too deep into that right now. Anyway, just ask you your whole gene, all the attributes of your DNA. A to T, I couldn't do A to Z because it'd be too small and hard to read it. So I just A to T, so that's the whole range. Right? You got the whole range, A to T. Right? Okay. That's the original person, the whole thing. So all the like I said, from one being, all life came. So everything came out of us. So there's some set of our genes. And I'm not going to go to the mathematical, all the mathematical aspects of it, but as the universe expands, right? That means how it expands. You can't create energy, you can't destroy it. So the energy that was, the Quran says all the heaven and earth was one. That means all energy was here. Even devils tell you all the energy was started out as an atom. All of it was called so-called Big Bang. So if you can believe it was small as atom, you can believe it was as big as the Earth. So that means less energy for the Earth. So less energy. We need energy, and we live off the Earth. So less energy. So we have less energy. So we can do less things. Imagine how much energy was when all the energy was here. So as energy expands, so less. So energy drop, right? So at that point, we have enough energy to manage all those attributes. The original being, right? But then as time went on, right, we have enough, right? So we start bringing things out. I'm just giving an example here, right? So we start bringing things out. Say, I'm just saying this is not exactly. I'm just giving you an idea. Say, that fish that came out, right? Well, they have this much. They just don't have the DCBNA. Don't have those genes. Like this don't have this. Because Caucasians, they got all this, but they don't have the A. We have the whole thing. They close to us. They just don't have that one. Okay, let's move on. Come back to the important point I want to make it right. Okay, so here, I don't know if you can see that or not, brothers and sisters. But see what's happening here? As time goes on, red means you're turning those attributes off. You're not getting rid of them, you're just turning them off. We turn G's on and off. We still got a whole full set. The devils tell you, we got all these genes, but most of them ain't on. They tell you, most of them are operative. All these genes, all of us got all these genes, but most of them are operative. So most of them ain't because the energy, less, we enough energy to maintain them, so we start, right? Enough energy to maintain them all, so we start turning them off. Okay, you understand the concept? As you turn these attributes off until you got this point. This was left. Everything's turned off, and where we are right now, the form we are right now, all attributes are turned off. We still have this turned off and operative. Now watch this. Now I should have made that. What I'm showing here is, see, I showed you a couple examples, right? So as we lose them, so we turn some off, we separate that attribute, make it independent. So over here, right, to the left, and I didn't notice that before. I should have, I don't know if you can see it now. Hold on, bro. Give me a second so I can make it highlight that a little bit. Let's do it this way. Okay. I just had to make a little. Let's do it this way for now. Okay. Mm-mm. Huh. Oh. Okay, I think that'll work. So you can see it. Okay. Okay, I think it's temporarily. So I'll do it this way you can see it better. Right, so actually that's the full set, right? And this is like I said, so you brought the simplest out, then we brought more complicated, until at the end, we brought the most complicated G set. That's the Caucasians, right? Mhm. As the energy, lose energy, these been turned off. The red, those attributes being turned off. As the universe expands, there's less energy here. So we have enough energy to maintain those attributes anymore. We stay in a basic form we are, but we have right head, we have hands. Well, I mean, we used to live in the sea for a long time too. We lived in the ocean for trillions of years. That's not all together. We moved on land. It says, make owner cream of planet Earth, God in the universe. Why is cream? Because we start from the center of Earth. And that's how another subject altogether goes to the top, the surface, anyway. And watch this. So you turn that, say, give it independent. That had to be independent. Same next one, independent. See, as we move up, we turn them off, but then it's like a rubber band is under a lot of tension. Then we said we was on dissatisfaction it's a lot of tension, but then the rubber band breaks and then the tension relaxes. But you got two parts now. So a little bit more complicated. That's what happened. We turn it off, and then I'm just showing an example, not the whole thing. And then we bring a being out, right? And the more complicated being, and more complicated being that has these attributes, but only the top one's turned on. Right? Let's move on. Now what I want to show here is this. Now this gets back to the so-called making of the woman. They all got that all wrong. Timothy Sinners said that women can't be gods, and see, people shouldn't be talking only how they're talking about. They're gonna pay a serious price for that. Let's look at it. Okay, what happened was the bottom line is that 666 trillion years ago, when they put the moon out there, it wasn't used dynamite. Dynamite was the explosive Elijah Muhammad talked about. They didn't know about nuclear power at the time, nuclear explosions. So dynamite was the most powerful explosion at the time. That's why he talked about dynamite. But we made the start of everything else. We know our nuclear power is right in the lessons. Right in the lesson. Read the lesson about breaking a cracked atom into what, 10 million parts. How much does a cracked atom weigh? See, they don't understand those even lessons. Because you know the difference between weight and force is the exact same thing. When you talk about a term of gravity, you call force weight. It's the same thing. So if you change the equation, how much force does a cracked atom have? That's a nuclear explosion. They're talking about it right there at a time when nobody knew anything about nuclear explosions. So how you see that? Nobody saw that until I just told you. That's your Master Muhammad knew about nuclear power before those had any idea about it. It's right in the lesson. All you gotta do is change weight to force, and you got it. Anyway, weight to force, exactly the same thing. And take my word for it, look it up, Google it. So in we had male to female, they was saying there was one being, And this didn't happen 6 trillion years ago. There was plenty of people on the planet. So how did these people get on the planet? How did they get on the planet? Somebody had to reproduce them. So the being was both male. Like I said, from one being came both. From one being, all life came one being. So male and female was one being, self-producing. We do have, I think, a platypus or whatever. There's a couple of animals out there that actually that have the capability right now. Anyway, the point is it was self-producing. But if it was self-producing, that means the male had that physiology which you relate to a female. He had to have breasts, but we do have, just wouldn't function now because this function with them and not function with us, but we have them. But we had the physiology of a female because we had to give birth, we had to have a way to get the child out and everything else. So we looked like a female, but we had to, but you might, and this is kind of just really general, you might have the mind of a man, but the physiology of a woman. Put it like that. That's not quite right, but just to make it simple for you. Right? So beauty and strength was in one being. Right? So he separated the reproductive side with the female and the strength side with the male. So the beauty side was with her and the strength side with us. So we had to produce the seed and she takes it and can produce the egg. Two together. And when that one being, both of those in that one being. Like I said, you had to have a way to had the breast to feed the child. And you had to have a way for the child to get out. You understand? But the point is, at that point in that time, the people, your gene, because you had both sets of gene. Like right now, you got one got XY, one got XX, right? Well, that one being had XY and XX together in the same, and they was equally matched. Equally matched. So one could overcome the other. So a child will always come out with identical, just like the parent. And the people at that time considered immortality because the child they produced was exactly like the same exact gene, like a twin, exact gene set as the parent came out of. So that was to him that was like immortality, like because you reproduce yourself over again, right? So the thing is that in the universe, right, we couldn't maintain that structure anymore. It was too much, didn't have enough energy to maintain that structure. So we had to split that structure into two beings. So when the scientists said, we got to do that, the other people said, we don't want to do that. There was the gin at the time. We ain't going to do that. We don't want to do that. So they had, that's resistance. And because they said, man, if you do that, man, we're not going to have to lose our mortality. And plus, the new beings are going to be stronger than us. Because now you're going to have a man, you have a man and a woman, and the woman's going to be more beautiful than us, and the man's going to be more stronger than us. Because now all the strength goes in one being instead of shared by two. All the beauty goes in one being shared by two. So we have a little bit of beauty and they have a little bit of strength, but you understand? And it was resistant to it. At that time, Arabic wasn't a gender language. Arabic is the most gender-sensitive language on the planet. Everything has a gender to it. But at that time, there wasn't any gender, so it didn't have it in there. So it'd be a dramatic change in the language. That's where Elijah was coming from. Dramatic change in language. If you do this, you have a dramatic change of language. But now you got to talk gender, you got to change the language. They don't want to do that. They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to separate like that. But they said, but dissatisfaction was great because the tension was great and it was hard to maintain that structure. They didn't have enough energy to maintain that structure. So the scientists, what they did was they had millions of people, maybe billions of people on the planet, but as time went on, right, the variations became very subtle. Remember, one being the genes exactly equal, but as time went on, right, you got subtle differences within the being. It was equal, but subtle difference between this person and that person. So subtle differences, and as time went on, the sense became more dramatic. Right? So the science said, okay, we have enough variations now. We get the sperm out of this being and mix it with the egg in the other being. And so then when you do that, then it's not equal. So the child will come out either male or female. That's how he did it, right? And the other side, they try to blow the planet up because they said, we want to try to stop them doing it. They're blowing themselves up in the process, right? But the point is that, remember the tension, remember the earth was under tension, we was under tension, if the earth was under tension, we was under tension. boom, that was the result of the splitting apart. I mean, they blew it apart, but but the idea that the force the bomb. Well, I see. I get to a whole nother subject altogether. I don't want to get into that. Anyway, the bottom line is that this results from the tension of us and the planet. This whole idea, right? So, in the planets apart, right? But remember, the woman and the male split was a result of tension, which is also the cause of the moon being out there. It blew it up, but the whole idea was the tension that was causing the driving this whole affair. Put it that way, tension driving the whole affair, right? So therefore, that's why the woman is connected to the moon. It's connected to the moon. Because if that wasn't the case, if she was before the moon, then why would the moon make a difference? She connected to the moon. She have a monthly. Because they happened at the same time. We're affected by the moon too, just not to the degree she is. Right? You understand? Okay. So, but in that process, because of this, we have like a fallout, or like a, what you call it. And so what happens is you get beings. Now, remember, the female has to have a little male in her, and the female has a little female here, so they can communicate. Otherwise, can attract each other, have a little bit each, right? So they communicate with each other. So you have to have a little female in you, because you raise a female, she had a little male in her to communicate. But then you had some beings that had no female. Males that had no female in whatsoever, and some female, same thing. So they couldn't reproduce, and plus, they eventually got rid of them. And to keep from that happening, we made a law that says you cannot have relationships with close family members, because the gene too close. And so you end up with homosexuals, you end up with hermaphrodites, all that kind of stuff. Hermaphrodite, they do look it up. Hermaphrodite still produce, and they result because they have brothers and sisters having sex and all that kind of stuff. Right? They don't tell you that's what it is, because the child is born to have both. They're both male and female at the same time. Yeah, but they don't survive long. That's another story altogether. But there's some born like that. Right? Okay, you got that right. And like I said, you got the fallout, that's extra, right? Okay. So now we get to the point, as we kept bringing things out of us. So at the end of this whole situation, we get to the point where we're in a stream. So now we do a separation of our minds, our brains. Our brain has two sides to it, analytical and spatial. Just like we had two genders in us. And we separate them. So we got two sides of the brain, analytical and spatial. That's the last product. So that's what we did. Dr. Yakub brought out the analytical, Dr. Shabazz brought out the spatial. Right? So that's the B and it is. The B is a spatial, that's a critical, creative side, and the is a technical side. So you come to the idea and they bring it into existence. So the devils they're very technical. Very technical. But we very creative. But now separated. So now we're more creative than ever, because now our whole brain is dedicated towards, it's a little bit technical, the whole brain is dedicated towards technical. We're more technical than any beings in the past, because now all of us in one. Just like male is stronger than the original people, because all the strength is in the male, but she's more beautiful because you understand, the female. Okay. So that's why. And that's why you get this thing. See, I say all this mathematics. That's why you get a thing with a lamb. He could break a book, spatial book, gender. No one could do it. Angel. No one could do it but him, not even a God. But the God came with a will that nobody could put together but him. Not even the lamb. See? Because he's highly technical, super technical. The lamb is highly spatial. Brighter than ever. You get it? And so, and the characteristics, that's why I say the lamb and the lion. Right? Because those are two attributes. The two attributes, at that point we separate those two attributes. Because the lamb is known for being submissive. And the lion is known to be ruled. That's why it says, it told the angels, submit to Adam. Because we didn't have any, the angels had no, remember, according to deprivation, the lamb is the highest. Let me go back. I can show this a little better. I should do a picture. See here, the top, that's the highest level of attributes. That's submissive. Remember, a Muslim submit entirely to the will of Allah. That's the highest attribute, submission. The next highest is rule. Lion. That's why I call the lamb. He's called lion, and he's called a lamb because it has those two attributes. That's two attributes. We got down to those last two attributes. That's what we separated. Right? Lamb and lion separated two. Shabbat is the lamb, right? Yaqub, the lion. Because what it told one submit to the other. One would rule, and one would be submission. You get it? I tell you something mathematical. I just couldn't, I've been holding back. I'm not good to that. There's two attributes. That's why I told us submit. Submit's the highest level. And rule is the next. Right? So it says, okay, because we didn't have enough energy to rule anymore. Remember that second law? So it said, we don't have enough energy to rule anymore. So we put that being out that could rule. And we told us to submit. Right? See? Okay, but that's where the wrinkle comes in there. Because if the rule is just, submission is not an issue. See? Because submission is where the wisdom is. See? Rule is just authority, administrative. Right? So that's why Adam was, because we didn't have enough power to rule anymore. I said, okay, I'm going to let Adam rule. Make it, set it out. You rule. It's like the woman has the beauty, we have the strength. Okay, you rule, right? And we submit. But the problem is, like I said, you got that after effect. We had the woman, the females that had no connection at all. No male aspect they can communicate. And the same on the other side, same males that, right? We have the same thing here. So the point is that see the devil, all lying. No lamb in him at all. Right? That's the after effect, all right? Then you got these demons over here, right? See? Well, that's no story. Leave that alone for right now. But we're going to focus on the devils here. So because they can communicate with us, they came at us like a lion. What the lions do to lambs? Eat them up. See, all this in Israel. I know you didn't see any of this. That's what lions do. See? That's what they do. Okay. So for 6,000 years, we was in submission to a lion that was attacking us. Because that was the lion, remember the after effect? Oh, let me back up on this female again. When that first happened, see, when we bring something out of existence, we give it freedom, and then we bring it under control, right? To find its way into the system, find its way into, that's, I don't want to go, I shouldn't even go there. That's another subject altogether. But the point is that they was left free, and the lions, they went, and as they did, they acted like lions. They ruled. They was attacking the lambs. But you got another group of lions, right? See? Okay, where is it? Okay, that's six. That was them, right? But we got another, right? Remember the male and female. You got another group of lions that has some lamb in them. Because we was lamb, original was lamb, and see, The lamb side is also disciplined. Lambs are very disciplined. I mean, they go to their slaughter, just quiet, very disciplined, one of the most disciplined creatures. I think lambs are probably the most disciplined creatures there are out there. Okay. Submissive and they're disciplined. See? So, so that's what, let's move on. So like Shabazz, right, we was lamb, but we had a little lion in us. Okay? But here's the devils, they have no lamb in them at all. So they attack the lambs. They attacked us. Right? Okay. So now here's the natural side. Remember that when you take female, you got the extra, it's talking about this devils, they have no connect. But this one, now here, you got the lion, but it's got a little lamb in him. So you got some discipline. And that's our natural mate. That's Master from Muhammad and the here. See? And they rule. That's why it says Master Muhammad rule with a rod of iron as angels rule. You see what I'm saying? He had rule. But wisdom came with the lamb. All that's in the angel. Anybody know anything about the angel? They should really recognize that. That's what it's saying. So now Master Muhammad, right? He's the technical side. We're the spatial side. We beat, he brings into existence, and they'll rule for the next 6,000 years until we got enough energy to take rule back again. Because I told you, energy deprivation lasts 12,000 years. 6,000 years in, we're under control of the devils who was lying with and they attacked us and beat everything else. But now we'll be under his rule, Master Muhammad's rule. We have discipline. That's why I say faith and the truth. And so we communicate with each other, two male and female together, they love each other, they're happy and everything else. Be happy with them because they be faith and truth. Be still their rule. We won't be our rule, but their rule. That's why it says he will be ruled. That's why he's half original, right? See? So he's got lion and lamb in him. Got just enough lion, enough lamb, discipline that lion. But therefore, that's the way it works, brothers and sisters. So I was going to go and get to the other part about this plan, but I wanted to make sure you understand this. That's why Master Muhammad will rule the next 6,000 years. Then we have enough energy after 6,000 years to turn that rule gene back on. As Elijah Muhammad said, eventually turn back over to the tribe of Shabbat, turn that rule gene back on, and we'll rule. But he'll rule for the next 6,000 years. That's it. He'll rule with the world, nation with a rod of iron. He'll rule us, rule the whole thing, right? But the wisdom, the submission, we still be in submission. We're the lamb. That's why he's called the lamb. Lamb from the tribe of Judah. And that's why I call Esau a lion. That's another story together. It's there because all lion, but that's another story. Hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. Trying to make you understand what's going on here. So he'll rule. He's a lion, but he's got enough lamb in him. So it's their nature to rule. Our nature to be submissive. Meek says, meek will inherit the earth. Meek is submission. I think all these things is mathematical, but you don't see it that way. With the meek, but the meek is wisdom. Because it says those who rule is Mr. Noah said those who impose submission to the will of Allah. Submission. Where it is. Another bottom line I said in there is that the angel is like an egg. It's like an egg. You got for all practical purposes, say have 144 entry points, because what egg can fertilize, it locks you out. Say you can fertilize, it can take in 144,000 sperm, which that's what you are right now, because you go from one creation to another creation. I said you keep changing creation. That's what it says. The new one, when we come in, the new world that's coming in, it will be a new creation. It says, I should have printed those. Right? It says, It says you be transformed in the twinkle of an eye. Once you get that egg, you start transformation. Once you're sperm and egg, it's new reality. It's totally different from anything there was before. They start transforming into something else. And so once you get in there, angel, you fertilize that egg, then you start transforming. Because it says it's going to be, it said we don't know what we'll be like. That's it, but we don't know what we'll be like him. That means, how are we not going to know what we're going to be like? We look in the mirror, no. He said, we do not know what we'll be like, but we need to be like him. I keep telling you, you're going to transform. Yeah, I mean, you're still going to have legs and arms and everything else, but you're going to transform into something else you don't recognize right now. That's if you get in the angel. If you get in there before that, it's closed out. That's what I'm saying, the Lamb's Book of Life. I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. And then hopefully I can get into the, I'm going to get this plan because I want you to understand this clearly. I talked about yesterday, but they're closing in on you. They said everything is set up. That's what it tells you. It said flee, it means it's already set up. When you flee, it's already set up. That means you ain't got time to think. They already had, that means they was planning against you. And the plan is about to attach. That means they're planning about you now. They're planning. Right now, based on this here, the plan is on, everything's in place. You got to pull the trigger. It says, come on, it's like a snare. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum. Check my sound real quick. Here's another quick. Oh, let me say one last thing here. It says, God a liar. I'm going to speak to that, but I need, because I did put it on the title. They're calling God a liar. God, like I said, that covenant is a contract. It's not a prophecy. The part about we going over here and all that's a prophecy. The contract about the that's a contract. God's word. He says it's called a covenant. And we're going home after 40 years, and they saying we ain't going nowhere. That means calling God a liar. That means Farrakhan's calling him a liar. Everybody supporting him is calling him a liar. And what you think is going to happen to you? You calling God a liar. Now tell me, you read that and tell me that he's not calling God a liar. Because he admits that's us. But he said, you ain't going nowhere. And God said, you are. So they calling God a liar. Now you tell me how you think you're going to survive that one. Because that's what Farrakhan is doing. So you're going to tell me he's talking to God? And God said, that's what's going to happen? And he's talking to God and God's with him? God's with him, all right. The God of this world, Satan. He's calling God a liar. And everybody's witness call him a liar too. He says, after 40 years, you're going home to Arabia. Between the river Euphrates, they tell you exactly. That's why he made his word, he made it clear, so you had to be guessing. It's a contract, you want the contract to be clear. That's why it's one of the most clearest verses in the scripture. Tell you exactly. And you have to figure out, oh, well, did he mean Jacob? Did he mean Jesus? Who is that? No, he tells you. It's between the river Euphrates and the river Egypt. We're on the map right down. It's Arabia. And they're saying you ain't going nowhere. So you deal with it. They calling God a liar. If you with him, you call him a liar. You stick with him. You've been told. That's clear enough. Is it clear enough for you? But no, it ain't. No, because you still, oh man, he's so cute. Look at him. He don't use bad words. He don't say fuck. That's good. That's good fortitude. He talks so nice. He wears dress so nice. Look how he dress. He walks so nice. Oh, the war of Armageddon. Oh, this crowd is so great. I love y'all today. Probably talking about Armageddon, right? Oh, man, I'm glad to see y'all smiling faces. But the war of Armageddon, oh, there, sister, she looks so... Okay. Because if you snared by him, we don't want you. That means you're goddamn stupid, too dumb to make it to our world. Because we'll not be no dumb, ignorant people in the hereafter. I can tell you that. Oh, they'll be in hell. They won't be with us. But in the kingdom, there will be no dumb, ignorant, stupid people. It just won't be. It says Suleiman gonna make sure, Solomon gonna make sure he clean it thoroughly, purify. He said he's gonna try to clean you up, so he's gonna purify you. You know what purify means? That too complicated? Assalamu alaikum.